Hi, Katie. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
What's your business name?
My business name is Katie Kayla Photography, and I hope I just blew some people's minds on how to pronounce my last name.
I think you did. I don't remember. I was telling somebody I was going to have you on today, and they're like, "That's how you say her last name?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, okay."
I've actually thought about putting like a pronunciation, like the little, like you can press like the thing on your website that like tells you, but then I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe part of getting to know someone is getting to know how to pronounce their name.
Yes. So getting right into it, do you think the Idaho wedding industry is actually collaborative, or do you think it's competitive with better lighting?
I think questions like that are interesting because it's all about how you frame it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that if you go into the situation with the intention of wanting to provide value to that other vendor and wanting to collaborate with them and keeping that light at the forefront of your thought, it feels really collaborative.
Yeah.
You know, I've met a ton of photographers and planners and florists, and we do really all want to see each other succeed. And I think that when it starts to feel like jealousy, a lot of that is your own mindset and how you're showing up to the table. And that can be caused by all different sorts of things. It could be personal things in your life. It could be maybe you had a bad interaction with a couple last week. Maybe you had a wedding that just like didn't go well. Maybe you had a piece of social media that fell flat. And I actually just posted about this on my Instagram. This is like, comparison is the death of joy. And so like when you let comparison come to the forefront, it no longer becomes about collaboration, right? And I think that people who get into the mindset of like, well, everyone's just competitive here. Well, that's what they're looking at, right? Like, and that's the framing that they have. And there are going to be vendors like that.
Yeah.
There are. And I think it's just a question of whether you want to surround yourself with those vendors and whether you want to see the relationship that you have with them that way. Like you can let them have those feelings and you can just be like, you do you. I'm so happy that you're winning.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go win too.
Yeah, because there's literally, I've said this before, but there's so much work to go around for everybody that if like you're going to have that mindset, like you can't do every single wedding.
Yeah. And you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
You're gonna burn out.
Yeah. So it's like, why not like help somebody out and they'll help you out? Like there's enough to go around. I'll just say that.
Well, and like the other thing that I picked up from like a course I took lately was like, we all have external factors that motivate us and we have internal factors that motivate us. And like, I always find that I feel more jealous when it becomes like an external thing, like whether it's like money or being noticed or being like affirmed that it was good or whatever it might be, right? And it's the internal stuff that keeps you like happy and motivated and like wanting to collaborate with people. Yeah. So I think that's like an interesting piece of like how do you keep your mindset joyful?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I know you're not super into social media. So what are your hot takes on that?
My hot takes on social media. I think that I like every other person, that we all have complicated relationships with social media. I think it has a lot of really amazing positives to it. Like you stay in touch with people that you would not have otherwise. You can make amazing relationships on social media. You can network on social media. You can market on social media. I think that for me, social media has kind of become, the doom scrolling. It is the instant gratification, and your brain is just so addicted to that instant gratification. And I've actually, I don't have social media on my phone anymore.
Wow.
I don't have Facebook or Instagram or anything on my phone anymore. I still can get on it on my computer and my laptop, right? But I did finally have to like download a Google extension that would block me from it from 9 to 5 during working hours, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of it's just because like, I think as you use it, you get into the habit of like, I don't want to do that task.
Yes.
I don't want to do I've dreamed about the list of things that I want to complete. Well, now I don't actually want to go work on it because that's hard, right? Yeah. And social media is that instant gratification for it. So I don't have it on my phone, but I do use it for marketing and for connecting with people. I plan my content out just like everyone else. And I just really try to consume it in set frameworks. I get on social media before my kids get up, and then I don't get on again until they're in bed. That little extension has like a 30-minute limit on it, because like really like more than 30 minutes on social media, what are you doing? You're doom scrolling. You're doom scrolling, right?
Yeah.
Like you're done picking up the information for the day, like you're doom scrolling. And I think it's better like to be bored and allowed yourself to explore other things.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a business owner, because in that exploration is where you create new business ideas and you
Yeah.
get shit done and you find out something about yourself. And all of that is probably better for you than doom scrolling. So
Yes.
that's kind of been my relationship with social media. Love, hate, love, hate.
I think you're saying the quiet part out loud because I agree with all of that 100%. I have set it up to where it's like screen time. And then I have my husband put a password on it.
Oh, smart.
And then it works most of the time, but
Yeah, I like the 80-20 rule. Like 80, and that's why like on the weekends I don't have it blocked on my computer.
Mm.
What I'm noticing now though, after having done that, is that now on the weekends I actually have a desire to like stop getting on myself. Because I'm like noticing when I'm doom scrolling and like noticing when I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I fulfilled the bucket. I caught up with my friends. I
Yeah.
marketed my business on those channels. I invested into that bucket. Maybe I'll go take a bath.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll go for a walk.
Well, and I don't know if you've noticed this, since you're not on it a super ton, but Instagram stopped going in chronological order. I don't know how long ago. So it's so hard to like keep up with people because you like I'll see a post from like 3 days ago. Like so my friend announced their pregnancy and like I knew about it already. So like I didn't feel super bad that they like finally announced it on social media.
And you missed
And it was
the
3
post.
days ago. And I
Yeah.
was just like, I look like a terrible person. So I like didn't comment because I was like, well, like this is awkward 3 days later. Like
I think that's like my least favorite. I wish that it was configurable because I would do it but people get off when you do that. Instagram is a business, right? It's running ads and its goal is literally to keep us on it as much as possible. And I think the older I've gotten and the more kids that I've had, the more I like, they say that like moms can get shit done in the X number. If you tell them they have 90 minutes, they're like, well, I'm going to get this whole massive list done and they can like hyper focus.
yeah.
And I think the older I've gotten, the more I realize like how much time I was spending in that and how I could apply that towards my dreams and my goals and like things that matter, I think, higher on the hierarchy list than being on social. And when I do feel like I miss a lot of things.
Yeah.
But you know, that's the could've mentality. And I think part of it is like just confidence in your own decisions that like, hey, this doesn't work for me right now. Maybe that'll change in the future.
Yeah.
But I'm like you. I tried to do the blocking on my phone, and I would always just be like, one more minute.
Yeah. 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 I see that.
It's so bad.
It is terrible. And I like, I don't know. I got to the point where I'm like, will you just unlock my phone? I just need to do one thing. And then he's just like, no, like, and then I get like super creative. And now I ask him, I'm like, I'm a drug addict. I'm literally
like a drug.
like just one more.
That's why I think actually like going out and like having phone free time is like great. I want to see someone get really bold at a wedding and say no phones, period. Like phones stay in the car. Think about how, first off, it would be so challenging for everyone there because we're so addicted to it. But like how meaningful that would be for the couple. Like they have your full attention for the whole time that you're there, the 3 to 4 hours. It's really not that much time that everyone's there.
Well, and if it's like done right, like weddings should be fun enough that like you don't have to think about like, oh, what's on my phone? Like
yeah, you can chat with the people around you. Crazy enough, the other day, my son and I do mommy and mal time. It's our special time every week. And he was like, I want a lollipop. And I'm like, okay. So we went and got a lollipop and I tried to converse with him.
Yeah.
But it was adorable. This other guy heard us, attempting to talk. I'm talking. He's 4. But as we left, the guy like gave him props for having a conversation, like gave him all this like, gratitude. And I was just like, wow, like this is a skill that you have to build. And I think we've kind of lost that ability to like just bring up conversation about whatever we are interested in. Yeah.
Well, and going off that, I feel like older people obviously still have that skill, but then like younger people, I don't want to name generations because I will get it wrong, but the younger generations are like almost like bothered by it. Like I don't know if you've noticed that, but like an older person will like bring something up just to like start a conversation and they're just like they just want to be on their phone and they're just like, why are you talking to me?
Well, the phone is more entertaining.
Well, yes.
I mean, it's way more dopamine than having to like find dopamine in a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think too, like if those people decide to go on to be small business owners, people buy from people. People
Yeah.
do not buy from computers. They don't, they might get interested in your brand that way, but like people buy from people. People are convinced to purchase from you because you are someone who relates to them.
Yeah.
Well, you have to figure out how to like talk to people in order
Yes.
to figure out how they relate
Work.
to each other.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's kind of an essential skill that we
Yes.
like forget benefits us in our future endeavors.
Yeah. But I do think as parents, like it is our responsibility to do the hard things and like not give phones and or age limits or like I cannot
Having
tell you.
rules.
Yeah, rules and like you're not like meant to be their friend. Like I don't know, but I have gotten back and forth so much about just getting a flip phone that I like just for me, like not even for him.
Think about it as an interesting experiment. Like you don't have to do it forever, right? Like, like I think oftentimes we think a decision is like final, and that's not true either. It's just like with weddings. Like you can make a decision about your wedding today and be like, 2 minutes later, no, I'm actually want to do something else, and I'm like, all right, well, you can do that in your life, too. Like everything is more malleable than I think we are led to believe. Or maybe that's just me. Maybe that's how I grew up.
On your podcast application, you mentioned that you wanted to talk about AI. How do you feel like it's affecting the industry?
It's a great question. So I have a background in software engineering.
Okay.
I developed like web apps and mobile apps and learned like as it has come back into as a buzzword in the industry. That's when like ChatGPT came out and the ability to like generate text. I started working on projects in that at my day job at the time. So what I think is like really interesting about AI is that a lot of it right now is like marketing. It's like claiming that it's going to do everything for us. And I think a lot of people are like scared of that because of it. And so they're not exploring like what that means for them in their business. And if I've learned anything about business, it's the people who adopt the new things disrupt what's going on currently in the industry. And that disruption is what creates space for like new artists to come in, new vendors, right? So my biggest like take on AI right now is that one, I think people are way underutilizing it because they're just like either afraid to learn something new or think it's gonna like take their job or whatever it might be, right? And then I think that a lot of people are using it wrong. So I think a lot of people think that it's just gonna like magically do the hard things for them. And the reality is that like it's not smart. I mean, it's statistically smart. It's been trained on other people having done the same task. And that's great because you can use that like, it's like, it takes 10,000 hours to master a hobby or a task, right? Well, you can use this model to do some of that work for you because it's already mastered the task and you can ask it a bunch of questions. But the reality is that if you don't know what a good outcome is, and like what like a gold standard should look like, you're never going to get anywhere with it, right? And that's where it's like, I think people are not using it correctly, right? Like they're hoping and wishing and dreaming that it's going to like make their businesses amazing or produce this great content. But if you don't know what good is, you can't judge whether that's true or not.
Well, I've noticed too, it like sometimes just spits out like wrong information.
Oh yeah, all the time.
I talked about this on a different podcast, but I asked, or I had heard that people were asking about like local vendors. So I was like, okay, send me a list of local vendors. It made people up.
Yeah.
Like, so it's scary that like that can happen, but people just take it as like gospel.
Yeah. So like the best way, especially if you're using like ChatGPT or Claude or any of the ones that people are using for like copy or writing Instagram, writing blogs, all of that, right? The best thing that you can think about with it is that it is an intern. It will always be an intern. It will never not graduate. You will never be able to just be like, oh, you did that perfect. I don't have to check in on you. No. It is an intern. You need to give it like a very specific list of tasks and they need to be like outlined like it's the first time that this person has ever done this in their life.
Yes.
And which means that you need to know like what good is. Like you need to know what the outcome is that you want out of it, right? And I learned this like through trial and error. So I blog now. This year I blog twice a week, but twice a month. Last year I blogged twice a week. Well, I'm sorry, but no one can blog on their own twice a week. And it was right when ChatGPT was coming out, and like I think I saw someone post this on Instagram, like the first 100 pieces of content that you put out is just you figuring out what you're talking about, right?
Mhm.
And so I use ChatGPT to generate all these blogs. Well, those blogs don't do well, obviously. Like they're not ranking at all. Like now that I know what a good blog looks like, I look
Yeah.
back at them and I'm like, you did words, you wrote words, there are words there. Like, yeah, those are yeah, great words. No wonder it's not like ranking on Google, right? But the newer stuff that I'm putting out, now that I've like learned more about like what makes a good SEO blog, like
Mm,
what are all the headings that you really should have, like what are the things that Google is looking for? How can you
yeah.
do internal and back turn? Like all of the things where you're just like, you don't know that when you first start, right?
Right.
But like part of it is just building and
Learning.
learning, and now you can look at it and be like, that's wrong. Like
Yeah.
I did like a top rehearsal dinners in Boise,
Oh, yeah.
and actually that blog is doing really well because I have a better format for how I'm building it with AI, right?
Yeah.
But when I first asked it for the whole blog, it thought that Lucky Finn's in downtown Boise was still open. And I was like, that has been closed for like 5 years now.
Yeah.
Like, it's so wrong. But those are the things that then you, as the editor, you come back through and you're like, oh, this was a great start. Let me finish this and fix it. Like, I just had it do one on Tamarack too.
Oh, yeah.
And Tamarack, oh, they're great. They have this great wedding brochure that they put together. Well, I gave that to ChatGPT and I was like, hey, I generated this blog. Check to make sure that everything that's in this brochure
Mm,
matches what's in the blog. And it went through and I did still have to read through it, and make sure that it's like what it said was right? Because
yes.
it can still lie. But
Right.
it did a pretty good job of like finding the stuff that wasn't there. And I'm like, so it makes you faster, but you still have to know what good is. It's the same thing with
Yes.
Aftershoot. If photographers are going to use that for editing and culling, like, well, first you need to you can always train it as you're using it, but the hard thing is actually learning the craft. You
Mhm.
still have to learn it. You still have to know what good is. Like Aftershoot gets better as you get better as
Yeah.
a photographer, right? Like it
It's
can
all just a
choose it.
tool.
Yeah, it's all just a tool.
Yeah.
And finding places in your workflow where those tools make sense, but you're still the orchestrator. Like it's never going to do it ever
Mhm.
all for you, ever. And you still have to manage it. So,
Yeah. Have you looked much into automations with AI?
like with like HoneyBook or
Like Zapier or
a
Make?
Zapier, yeah. Yeah, so one of the business photography coaches that I have, he just built one with Make,
Yeah.
which is just like Zapier.
I started on Make.
Yeah, Make is pretty fun. I
Mhm.
did a project with Make a couple of years ago that was for like catering companies that can't hire receptionists. So they miss a ton of people just through that.
Mm.
And it could like take details, temporarily book it on their account. It was so cool, all with like a voice
Wow.
according to it. But yeah, so the photography mentor I have, he made a assistant with Make that would respond to inquiries. And I thought that was really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. He shared the statistic that 70% of couples book with the first person to respond.
Wow. That's
So
impressive.
it looked like it was like a 15-step make though, with like multiple chains out of it. So he's sending it through. He must be doing 2 or 3, maybe even 4 calls to an LLM, like to ChatGPT to
Mhm.
like get whatever customization to that person.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
But those are like, he always talks a lot about like systemize, don't get rid of, like you're creating systems for how you do things versus replacing yourself versus making a process for it. And I was like, that's smart.
It is smart. And I think that like when you have systems, you create a better, more consistent outcome. And that's important, especially with a business.
Yeah, and especially for your clients. Like you
Yes.
want them all, like, don't we all want them to have like a 5-star experience?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, how do you do that? Well,
Systems.
yeah, I have like a folder on my drive that just says SOP, standard operating procedures.
I
So
love
for
it.
everything I do now, it's like, okay, cool. If I'm going to do an engagement like session giveaway, this is how I'm going to do it. This is how the
That's
marketing
smart.
piece of it will work. And I can tweak it every time, but at least I don't have to go back and be like, well, how did I do it last year? I don't
Yeah.
remember. Because
And then it doesn't perform the same. And you're like, what did I do differently?
and
So
you
that's-
forget. Yeah.
But I think it's standard practice for every business to have those. Like when you go to a job, that's the first thing they give you is a thick folder of SOPs.
So why wouldn't you create it for your own business?
Exactly.
And the cool thing is now is that you could go and say, to ChatGPT, you'd be like, hey, you're a business development. You're a master at business
Yeah.
development. Help me come up with some standard operating procedures for my own business. Give it a little bit about your business. And then just like tell it to give you some ideas and you can take it from there. You can have more conversation with it. It's great as like a in the moment business coach.
like brainstorm too.
So good for
Yes.
I love it for that. I love it for like once I've completed a blog, I'll start like a whole chat series about that. So I'll use it for Instagram content. I'll do it for like real feedback. I'll do it for like emails. I always have it writing emails. It's so hard because you're just like, what do I write? I write the same thing every time, but how do I say it differently?
Yeah.
Enter ChatGPT, but I'll do it like with the context of the blog, so it knows like everything that I've talked about, and it can, you know, remember more in theory.
In theory. I feel like I definitely have told it to remember things and it definitely doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, like I know you said updated memory and so I know that we've talked about this.
But you're so wrong.
I was like, hey, I don't remember this. What did we say about this? You're like, I don't remember. I'm like,
yeah, well, it's because again, it's an intern that you just hired, and every single time you have to re-explain to it the task that it's doing. So yeah, I think that things that like Make and Zapier, those are going to just become things that people, I think, explore and play with over the next 2 to 5 years. How will the market respond to it though?
Yeah.
Because like, you know, we know that we're being AI marketed to, like. People, I found this really fascinating. If you use something like Flowdesk or MailChimp for your news, like for your email marketing, people immediately want to say no to it because they know that it's marketing, versus if you just send a plain text email via like Gmail, they're much more accepting of the information in there because it feels more conversational.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's Flowdesk, so it's not like, you know.
But it's like,
but how will they respond to us adopting so much AI in our workflows? That'll be an interesting thing, because maybe us doing all of this, no one will like it, and they'll all like revolt against it, and people who didn't do it will do better. Who knows?
Yeah. I will say with Flowdesk, I like the pretty emails. Like that's why I use it, and it is
Girl,
me.
you're preaching.
Like,
you're preaching. It's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
It's so much better. But
like,
yeah,
I tried to do it on Google, and it was just so hard. And I was like, no, I need pretty emails. Dang it.
yeah. I mean, I'm team pretty for sure. But I did think that was interesting. I was like, oh well, then why would I do anything but that?
Yeah.
But I think managing in Gmail, maybe there's other things that you could use to manage it. But like, Flowdesk makes it so easy. You can go and be like your audience. You can set like, workflows. You can do all the things. And I'm like, I've already adopted. Now, see, but this is me not wanting a growth mindset, because if you don't try the new things and you get yourself all like pigeoned into, well, I've always done it this way. That's just as bad, right?
Well, and like with Flowdesk, I'm going to be completely honest. In Gmail, I have no idea how to send a mass email. Like 0. So that's also
like everyone on a subscriber list.
Yes, because I've got like 3,000 something like subscribers. But I'm like, I don't know how to like email you all at once, like, because like I emailed the poll about the birthday, like, so I want to like have that feature, and then like the rest of it I do try to send like individually, but I want to be able to have the feature to like send everybody like, hey, I want your input on this.
You know, if I had that question, first thing I'd be is like, Google, how do I? And then AI will be wrong, because that's my favorite part, is that little AI summary is almost always wrong when it comes to how-to things, because it usually is changed by the time that but then there'll be a video and I'll be like, sweet,
yes,
thank you.
Well, and I looked up, I was like, how do you change on doom scrolling, people were talking about organ donation, and like has like caused me to think about things, because I signed up when I was like 16, and so I was like, well, even if I did want to change it, like how do I go about doing that? So I Googled it, and Google was not helpful.
Yeah, you probably have to get a new license.
Yeah.
But there check the box or whatever.
But then people were saying that you have to like do something on the back end, like there's some registry you have to go like undo, and I'm like, how do I do that? And Google's like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're in the local government. There is no help docs on the local government when it comes to their software at all. So
it's like, hey, just figure it out. Here's this form.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, my in-laws are trying to build their like final house right now.
Oh yeah.
And they're like in-person people. They don't get on. And so they've had to go in person to get help signing into the website to submit their permits and things. And my favorite are the stories of like them coming in and the employees being like, it's not working for us either. And my father-in-law just being like, well, how would anyone be able to figure this out? I'm like, this is great. This is phenomenal. Like, no help. No one knows how the government is getting the forms into the computer.
Yeah, like who created this? I don't know. Like, okay, so why are we using
developer somewhere?
Yeah. A little bit more with like booking and clients, if you could ban one word or one phrase from couples inquiries, what would it be?
How about just the term like, I don't know? No. Gosh, that's a good question. What I kind of think is interesting about inquiries really is like I do tend to judge people based off of the effort that they've put into the like if just a little bit of effort is nice. I know you have to like talk to like 30 or 40 vendors,
Mm.
but this is a great thing where it's like you just in a doc somewhere.
Copy paste.
Yeah, copy
paste.
because like it is nice to have a little bit of information in which to chat about on our first call that you're like, oh yes, I can bring up this or this. So I think that's like my biggest pet peeve, but I also get it from their point of view. Like they're in a hurry. Planning a big event is exhausting. And it's like, I think I saw once it's like 250 decisions and I'm like, yeah, that would overwhelm me too.
Yeah.
And you know, so I kind of get why you get like getting married, so excited, like
Yeah.
you know. And you're like, all right, well, I guess I'll just.
That's where ChatGPT comes in.
Thank you, ChatGPT.
Full circle.
It's because it's gonna be a make automation, right? It's gonna be an assistant that's like, okay, great. Well, here's some tips, I guess, for this.
Yeah. But it is helpful because oftentimes it is like hard to put things into words for like couples, like, because you're overwhelmed with all these things. But if you're like, hey, this is what I want to say, like, just make it like sound better than like what I've written.
Yep.
And then you like as a couple, you can give that to your vendors because you're right. It is hard to talk to people when they don't give you any information. Like, because we want to be able to want to work with you too.
Yeah. But like it's a two-way street. Like, like I always think about it too. It's like we're all interviewing each other.
Yeah.
Like we need to vibe. We're with you for like 10 hours, sometimes longer. Like sometimes there's people who do like a whole week. Like,
yeah,
at least like enjoy each other's company. Like feel like we can talk about like because you might have to bring up problems with your vendors. Like that's normal. Like we are human too. Like
yes,
you know all that. So yeah, I think that's probably my number one pet peeve on inquiries. Yeah, the sparse details.
yes, because. I mean, like, you can only get, like, what you put out, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm going to be more invested in the people that spend just that little extra minute. But, you know, that's kind of how I approach my business, too, is, like, I'm going to spend that extra minute on you or longer. Like, I already know I'm going to go above and beyond for you because I just can't, like, help it. I would like a little, like, we should feel that similar vibe.
Yeah. Hot take. But I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like sometimes, I won't say all the time, but sometimes the people that you go above and beyond for are the least appreciative.
I think that's where the SOP comes into play, right? Like there's your SOP of above and beyond, which is always more than what you told them you were going to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, under promise, over deliver, right? Yeah. And then there's like the above and beyond that you do just because you care about that moment, right? There was a famous like football player that his saying was like, give more, expect less. And so every time I feel like I give something and I don't get that like whatever back from them, I always remind myself of that because like, what was the point of me giving? It was for me to feel good about giving, not to get something back from that piece.
I guess more so what I've noticed a couple times, again, not a whole lot, but a couple times is I like promise like X many photos, give like a ton more.
Oh,
like
they don't even notice.
Not that they don't notice, but they're like, hey, like actually, can you like give more?
Yeah.
Like I gave you all the good ones and I like only promised you like half. Like, I don't know, like
that one's hard where they feel like they didn't get all the moments.
Yeah. Which I get from their perspective, but like I did give you all the moments. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That one's like kind of hard because like your job is a memory capturer. But I always tell my couples too, like, I'm human too. It's like I am going to miss shit.
Yeah.
It's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
And not every memory that you have is the memory that you see in the photo when you look back through your wedding album.
Yeah.
But maybe that's like my sage advice that I give to my own self because I can't capture like, but I've like totally missed bouquet tosses before because I went to the bathroom and no one thought like, hey, where's the, nope, totally just missed it. And I'm like, well, oh well.
Yeah.
Like, and my couple never asked about it. And I was like, well, that's good because don't have a picture.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So on like wedding traditions, what's your favorite one? And what is one that you wish is like, or that you kind of see phasing out?
I think, honestly, favorite tradition. I think my favorite tradition is still seeing each other for the first time down the aisle.
Mm.
That's what I made. That's what I did with my husband. So I'm a little nostalgic toward too. I think first looks are great too. I think that those are great for people who really appreciate that like time to each other. But I do think that there is something special about like the grand reveal, and it just feels so princessy and like Disney
Mhm.
magical to me.
Like top of the stairs.
Oh, that would be so great. I wish we had like a super sweet venue with like the decadent stairs here in town. We don't really have anything like that. Oh,
I
wood carved stairs. Oh, it'd be so good.
I want to create that so bad. But
You do that. I will take any wedding there. That'd be
it
amazing.
yeah.
Like do it because you want to do it.
Mhm.
Like this is the first event that you are planning for you. And of course there's always the whole like who's paying for it and the financial piece of it. But like
Yeah.
if you really don't want to do something, you should be brave and you should have that conversation with that person
Yeah.
and just come at that from like a whole piece of like love and honesty and just being like, hey, I love and I so appreciate that you're doing with this one thing.
Mhm.
God, it just really doesn't align with my values of the day and how I want to remember this special moment with you.
Yeah.
Is there any way that we could do this instead? Like there's so many ways I think that people compromise that they don't have to. Like I love this piece of advice I got from a book was anytime you think you're in either or thinking like where there's only two options,
Mm.
the best thing you can do is add a third. Yeah, because it makes you like 50% more likely to succeed. But it's just like if you think that there's only two options, you're wrong. Like you
Yeah.
should just like think of other ways in which you could accomplish your goal.
Yeah. I agree with that. And also on the paying thing, like yes, it's tradition for people to pay for you to do it. But like I feel like that should be seen as a gift. Like and gifts
That's not how we always want it to be.
I know. But it just
Money's complicated.
it is. And it
And-
makes things difficult for relationships
Yeah.
for sure.
And then stories you tell yourself about money complicates it further too.
Mm.
So that one's always like, but that's why I think it's like better to just be honest more about like what it makes you feel
Mhm.
versus it being about like the logistics of the money piece of it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think when people understand where you're coming from emotionally, they're much more willing to meet you halfway.
Mm.
Unless they're really emotionally distant, at which point it's like, well, maybe they should just like, maybe you should just take a break from them. Maybe that's an elopement opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just don't.
Yes. Yeah, because you're not like obligated to do things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And you're not obligated to take money from people just because they're offering.
Exactly. You're really not. And your wedding is the event that you're putting on.
Mm-hmm.
And if that to you is like 120 people and you have to figure out how you're going to make the funds for that, like, well, you're going to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
If your wedding to you, though, is just the two of you at the Boise River, then awesome. You should just embrace that,
Mhm.
And I think that's like where it's hard because it's like, oh, there's so many choices when it comes to wedding. And you're like, did I
Yeah.
make the right choice? Well, the right choice is the choice that you make. There is no right. Like,
Yeah.
there are a million, billion ways you can have a wedding. The
Mhm.
best wedding that you can have is the one that you enjoyed the day of.
Yeah. And you're like mentally present for.
Yeah. And
you're
you're like
not-
excited to like have and you're
Mhm.
joyful about and like no one wants to have a wedding where they're like pissed off. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to go to a day like that. Like,
red flags
right?
all around.
Yeah, red
Where-
flag.
that guy with the red flags.
Yeah, you need to have like a
Yeah. That would be so
Oh, that
fun.
would be so funny.
Like
Hot take.
somebody says something, I'm like, actually,
Red flag.
maybe that'll be a future feature.
Future edition.
That would be
We got to
funny.
get it though with like a label of something on
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Have you ever had to fake calm when everything was falling apart at a wedding?
Yeah, of course. I mean, emotions run high on
Yeah.
wedding days. I think the hardest moment that I've gone through so far was the groom's parents weren't able to make it to the wedding because of visa issues. And he was like a little melancholy when I first saw him. And then it kind of got worse as the day progressed. And you could just tell just like how sad he was.
Yeah.
And I think the hardest thing is like, how do you then go on to take couples pictures when it's supposed to be about like joy? And you don't like, he's going to remember that feeling no matter what on that day. But what I want their pictures to feel like when they look back on them is just like the happiness and the joy and that like wonder of where they're going, right? Like that's my goal with what the images look like. So, that was like I could feel it happening. And I think like in that moment it's like my heart goes out to him. And I was just like, hey, do you want a hug?
Mm.
After the ceremony, I was like, do you want a hug?
Yeah.
And he was just like, that would be great. And so I gave him a hug. And then I just was like, sometimes the best pictures are the most simple pictures. And so I was just like, hey, just sit here at the front and just like be here. I'm going to spend 10, 15 minutes. I'm just going to take some pictures of you all just here. I'm not going to tell you to do anything. You can just enjoy your time. And that seemed to help him just like have a moment, right? Like sometimes that's all you need, is that you need just that time to be sad and to let the emotions like overcome you. And his partner was there with him. And it's like, how much more do you really need on a day besides like your most special person to like be there to, celebrate with you? And we went outside for some more pictures, and I could see that he was starting to feel a little bit better, still obviously melancholy, but like not like as sad as he was at the end of the ceremony. And by the end of the night, it's still one of my favorite pictures that I took this year, is the two of them coming out with the bubbles all around. It was super cute. And I could just tell that he was like, it could have gone so much worse.
Yeah.
It totally could have. He could have just like left the whole event, but like I think that he had some memories that he walked away from that he was just like, this is best, the start of the best day of our lives. And isn't that like the feeling that you want your couples to have at the end? It was just like, holy crap, this event was amazing.
Yeah. Well, and it's true, like, about emotions. Like, I feel like we're taught to like suppress them and just like shut it down, like forget about it. And I like catch myself like as a parent, like when I'm getting into the terrible twos, and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, it's an adjustment for me, but also I'm like the crying. I'm just like, I don't know, like how to help you, like, but like I want you to feel that, like I want you to like process that emotion and get over that, because like just shutting it down is only going to make it worse later down the road. Like talking from personal experience. So it's like it's just interesting. Like the revelations that I'm having like about emotions, because
have kids, you'll learn so many things about your own self.
Yeah, because I feel like the reason we're like taught to suppress things is because it makes the other person uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Coming from like
Oh,
this experience, I'm like, I don't know what to do with you. Like,
Ain't that the truth?
yeah, I'm like, yeah.
And like,
so
how can you just like be with that other person? I think it's amazing that therapists can do that. Honestly, like my therapist, I love her so much. Like she's amazing, but she like just sits there and just is like, "Yep, you're sad," and like she has to go home at the end of the day after having. How many people did she deal with that day that had these big feelings? And I totally am like, but it has, we were kind of taught to like run from that and to like not address it. But human connection is the healer of all of that, right? Like, even with my kids when they're having our school gave like a parenting class, and it was the best advice that I just like keep in the back of my head, is like the superhero power that parents bring to the conversation is that we're present, that we're warm, and that we're silent, and that we just don't say anything, because nothing that just like when we're upset, nothing that anyone else is going to say to us right now is going to make us feel better. The only thing that will make us feel better is time. The best thing that someone can do is just like be there, warm hug, be in there. I think the harder thing is to be the vendor, to be like, don't let this overcome my emotions. Like that one's hard, but like, okay, well, we can do this together.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like you always feel so much better like once you've processed that emotion.
Yeah.
Like if you bury it, I hate that word, but
put it in the box. That's what I like
if
to
you
do.
put it in the box and like it's like way deep down, like you still feel icky, and then like obviously it builds over time because it's all compounding, and then you have this one blow up event and people are surprised. But yeah, that's my soapbox on that.
I mean, I agree with you. I love, if you have not read The Whole Brain Child yet, you will love it. It's a relatively short read, but it talks about everything that I wish that I had known when I was little. And I hope that I can give this to my child. I'm sure he'll have his own problems, but like at least maybe this little piece, and I'll be like, well, at least you have a better emotional regulation.
Yes. I was the not emotionally regulated kid.
I was the passive aggressive, I think. I would explode for sure. Yeah.
I would cry at everything.
I still do. 100%.
I'm actually a sympathetic crier. So like if somebody starts crying, it's gone.
See the Kristen Bell, like she saw a sloth video. Like she loves sloths, and she's having a birthday, and Dax like rented or brought like a sloth, and she like sensed it, and she just started like extreme crying.
No.
And she went on Oprah or Ellen or something like that and was like showing the video to the whole world and like talking about it. And she's like, yeah, my emotional span is like a 4 to a 7. In there, I'm great. Anything outside of that, and I'm just in tears. And I was like, I resonate with that. I do. I resonate with that.
I feel like with emotions, like it kind of leads to like more things sticking with you and like things that just resonate. So going off of that, do you have a couple that you still think about, like a specific couple that you still think about months or years later, and why?
I sure do. And why do I think about them? Why? Because I took a branding class earlier this year or last year, to be totally honest with you. And for those who don't know, when you own a small business, a lot of people talk about like, who's your target client, right? And in this class I took, they recommended that we give them names. And I was like, okay, yeah, so that you can like reference them in your brain. And then they're like, okay, well, think back to all the clients that you've had. Like, was there one client you were like, yes, I want to work for you more. This was fun. And for me, I totally had that client. The bride was just like, one, she was so freaking happy to get married that day. And she had like, everyone that was there was just ecstatic for her. Like, it was just like, there was just, everyone was happy, super low stress. She was just like, anything that's happening today is great. I was like, this is fun. She was like up for any type of photo. She's like, oh yeah, that sounds fun. Let's go do that. Like she had bought these shoes, and her mom would put lotion on her feet to like get the shoes on. And she wore them for 2 seconds and then took them off. And none of us realized that she walked down the aisle without shoes on. She did all of her pictures without shoes on. I was just like, what? Like I found out later, and I was like, she's like, yeah, I just wanted to feel grounded to the earth. And I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
Yes, like more of this. And then like on his side, he had like the best guy friends. He was like really into doing playful grooms, because sometimes, you know, they're just like,
yes.
Sometimes it's the very first time they've ever put a suit on, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But they're like not into the idea of having any pictures of them. And I'm like, well, you know, these pictures aren't for you. These pictures are for your wife and your mom and your grandma and like other people in your life. Like these aren't for you. Like we're not, yeah. And I don't think people think about that so much. And so, but he was just like super fun. We had a blast. Like he was up for anything. We did some fun like fake smoking cigar photos because we weren't allowed to light them at the venue, right? And like you could just tell that the two of them were not only ready, but just like so grateful that they were even on this journey together. Like so amazed that they came together. And I think that's why whenever I was like taking this class, I'm like, yes, more of this, you know, and then you're like thinking about like, okay, well, you know, what were their personalities like? Like, how did they express love? And I was like, all of this, I can write all of it really easily. I did not name my target client persona after them, but I was really tempted to. And I was like, well, that might be a little like
specific.
Yeah, I was like, maybe not. But I think that that's like the piece where it's like the people who trust the vendors that they've hired to do their job.
Yes.
And that I really like playful couples. Like your wedding photos don't need to be all serious. It's okay to have fun and like I
love your double exposures.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, you know, that's like, well, first it's creatively fun for me. Yeah. And for them, it's just like, that's okay. If it doesn't work out, maybe it will, maybe it won't. I've like cut an entire section of couple pictures from people's galleries before because I was like, no, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's okay. Like, so I love couples like that. I love particularly people who want to see their friends and family like get dressed up. Like it doesn't have to be tuxedo and, you know, black tie, but it is fun how often do we get dressed up nowadays? Never.
Yeah.
We wear sweatpants everywhere, like me included. Like, but you know, I always kind of think that weddings are like an opportunity to have a really fun time with the people around you. So like you should be sharing things that you think are fun. I love that wedding that did like the Lego flowers. Yeah, they gave every single guest like during cocktail hour a Lego flower to do to fill in and I was just like, yes, I want to do a wedding like that. That sounds like fun. Like, I have a couple next year that they were talking about doing a Ren fair kind of, everyone dress up and they decided not to. And I was like, oh, you should have. It would have been just so much fun. Like,
do it for the plot.
Just do it for your own self. Like if you love it, like but you know, I'm team, like, I love it when people do like the sword fighting in the park. I think that it's like they're having a blast. Like if people want to rag on them, it's because they're obviously not having enough fun in their life.
Exactly.
Want to play Quidditch? Let's do it. Like I have no shame.
Yeah. kind of like a tangent, but do you have a wedding trend that you pretended to like, but you secretly hated?
I mean, I do in photography. And then I also secretly like it. You know, the crooked horizon line thing that's going on right now? Like, I spent so long
trying to make it perfect.
Yeah. Thinking about where the horizon line goes through people's head and noticing it. And now to see all of this, let's just go the opposite of that. I'm like, okay, I love it because shouldn't it be fun?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we just, who cares? First off, our clients don't know anything about whether it's good photography or not. They're trusting us to make good pictures, right? So I secretly hate it. I also secretly love it. So
I hate it mostly, but I like it when it's a blurry photo that's meant to have motion, not just a standing still blurry photo. Because but if it's a you know which photos I'm talking about?
When you've spun it,
yeah.
Favorite.
And then there's action in the photo, and it's meant to be a blurry memory.
I'm pretty sure though that for the July shoot, I definitely included one that was to the side in the final gallery. You're welcome.
It didn't stick out as I hate that, so that's good because I did look through the gallery and I liked them. So now I'm maybe
I took the picture and I was I think even as I was taking it, I was I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna do the thing I don't like.
Yeah, just try it.
Just gonna, why not?
Yeah,
what's the worst?
Yeah, that's funny.
Now you're gonna go look.
Yeah, I am because I looked through it and I there wasn't one that I was oh, I hate that. Why did she do that?
Dude, there's sometimes I look back at my old galleries and I'm like, what was I thinking?
Yes.
What was this?
But that's on growth.
Yeah. Always growing.
You are there. I know you're not on socials, but there's a trend going around that I don't remember. It's yeah, you should hate me because I took this or something like that.
Ooh.
And then the next photo is but that was 10 years ago. It's a glow up.
All the glow ups.
Yeah, and
that'd be good.
I like it. I like seeing glow up. Or no, it was you should be my comp, or you shouldn't be scared. I don't know. But that's the premise of it. Yeah.
I thought I could just go find it in the somewhere in the reel.
But I like all the glow ups because you should be able to see your growth. If your photo is the same as 10 years ago and 10 years ago you were just starting and it's the same, that's a red flag.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would totally agree.
Because
you should see, well, hopefully the person is reviewing their work and being hey, is it getting better? And I don't know about you, but one thing I heard another business owner say that is really stuck with me is this you should be spending the same amount on your gear every year that you spend on your education. So if you buy $6,000 worth of gear, you best be finding $6,000 worth of education to purchase. And I was that's actually probably really valid because your gear is nothing without getting better at what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you might end up I've now taken, I don't even want to know how many composition courses. I think I'm on 3 or 4, but it's the repetition of the information that then allows you to see the composition. Because 10,000 hours. It takes a long time to master. Jose Villa makes it look easy. He just pops out these bangers and you're yeah, well, of course you did. My favorite is everyone loves that Haley Ryan photo where she's got the gloves and her rings out there. People tried to do that, I think, actually at the July shoot.
Oh, really?
And everyone was it's so hard. I'm yeah, well, he makes it look like it was. Yeah. That's why he gets paid buco bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is crazy. This is a hot take. The amount of people that think that they can charge a lot of money just because social media tells them that it's okay to. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
I think it's challenging. Again, most people don't know what makes a good photo.
Yeah.
So you're purchasing things based off of how you feel about that person. But how most of what weddings are is how you feel about it. I mean, most couples don't even know what their budget period is. Even if they have a budget, are you going to stay within I had a budget and we didn't stay within the budget. And that's one of the things that has really opened my mind to what it means to talk price with couples too, is they don't know. And if they really like you, they're going to figure out how to pay for you.
Yeah.
So, but it does kind of hurt me in my education jealousy where it's just I've spent so much time getting really good at this. And then I can see that you went and hired someone for the same price that takes terrible photos. These are terrible, but that's bless and release. Like, all right, well, I guess I can go find a different, maybe that opens you up to something better. That's what my friend would always say to me. Well, maybe that was
That's a sign.
maybe there's a better thing coming your way. And I'm like, well, you're probably not wrong.
Yeah. Well, and that even comes to like, I don't think this is seen a lot in Idaho, but just being in the wedding industry, you hear about it, like vendors canceling for like a higher paying job. And I think that's one, so wrong. But two, like if that's your business practice, like how are you still in business?
I don't, yeah, that one's wrong. I'm
Yeah.
team like
you have a
you already
contract.
commit. Like,
Like then what was the point of the contract?
yeah, well, and like if that opportunity, yes, sometimes opportunities are once in a lifetime. I don't disagree with that. But how would you feel if someone did that to you? And something else, like what if you were going out and getting your website and branding redone and you had a contract with someone and they had spent time on this and you had like done this pre-work and all this shit for them and you've paid like them a money too, and all of the other people that you could go hire have now been booked up and then they cancel on you. Like, how would you feel? I would be irate.
Well, because
irate, but I would be
in
that
some of the
person, one
ones,
star everywhere.
well, and then in some of the ones that I've seen, it's like a month out of their wedding, and you're like, you
Absolutely
can't
not.
find another vendor in that time period
No.
because it's middle of the wedding season and everybody's booked.
Yeah, no,
Like,
absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where I think like, that's the ethics of being a business owner. That's, you have to set your own self up to those standards, and
Yeah, because nobody holds you accountable.
no one's going to hold you accountable but yourself. And,
Yeah.
but I'm team like, I don't know, you get like the little black smudge in my book if you're going to start doing that to people. And the downside to that is that when you start doing that and when other vendors find out, they just stop recommending you, And as a community, when all the vendors stop recommending you, you stop getting jobs. And it might take time, but eventually it will hit your bottom line, even if you thought that opportunity you said yes to was going to be the opening thing.
Yeah.
So, and I think that too, like, if it's really, really, really something that you can't turn down because, I don't like either or scenarios.
Yeah.
Can always have a conversation with a couple about it. You can find an associate to do it for you.
Like it should be your responsibility to fill that slot.
Yeah. Or find another person that is of equal value.
Mhm.
But when you just leave them high and dry, I'm team like, well, not going to be working with you in the future.
Yeah.
That one's, no me gusta.
Yeah. I agree. Do you have any funny or unexpected moments that have happened at a wedding?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The weird. I wouldn't say it was like weird, but it was no one had told me this was coming.
Oh.
So the bride and the groom were doing like the shoe game, and they get done with it, and out of like nowhere, the entire bride's family had like ping pong balls, and they just start like raining the ping pong balls down on the couple, and I was like, what
is going?
Yeah, it was just like, what is happening right now? Like I just totally, and I think I had like stepped back to make sure that my settings were, and of course they started doing it right as, and I was just like, well, no. Couldn't get a good picture of the whole thing, but it was just like, to this day, I'm still just like, why? Why? And where did you get all the ping pong balls? And how did you hide them? Yeah, I was just like, where were they?
Yeah.
Like, there was so many things about it that I was just confused about. So,
well, if she's seen this, I hope she comments why.
yeah, me too. She doesn't have social media either, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Somebody tell us. Is this something that we don't know?
Why?
Yeah.
Why so many people? I don't know what happened to all of them either. There's just like, I'm very...
Okay, somebody do some
So
digging.
strange.
We need the
we need the whole
closed loop of this. 'Cause now I won't be able to sleep.
As they're bringing ping pong balls to weddings just to
Somebody's
send
gonna
a
know.
picture to you.
You should.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Do you have any go-to? I always mess this up. Do you have any go-to traditions or rituals that you follow before a wedding?
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, I do. I always leave earlier than I even tell myself I will, because it doesn't matter how early I get to the venue. It never feels early enough, which then I feel kind of bad because I'm like, well, how early is too early for my couples to see me there? Can I just like be lurking around, planning what I'm gonna do? I always print the schedule and the shot list, and I fold it up and put it into my bag that I carry with me, because the phone, that one's so much. I know people do screenshots of it, but I just like I can touch it. It's great. When I get to a venue, I meditate before I leave the car to try to like bring myself down because I think everyone's really hyped up on emotion
Yes.
and excitement.
Yes.
I always wear the same perfume I wore on my own wedding day. On the wedding day, you know, it's the same bottle still too, which is even like cuter. That's my favorite.
That's cute.
And then what else do I always do? If it's morning, I always go to Starbucks and get the same Starbucks order and a
Yes.
sandwich.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
which sandwich?
I like the Impossible sandwich
Oh, I don't
with
know.
like egg and yeah. And they have this new like spiced falafel wrap that's really yummy. And if you haven't tried that, it's a little spicy though. It's
Oh.
like got a
Yeah.
little heat to it. It's
Yeah.
nummy. It's very nummy. So if it's in the morning, I'll do that. If it's afternoon, I go to a gas station. I get a Lenny and Larry's cookie, some sort of trail mix, and then like sometimes it's chips. Because
Mhm.
like, you know, wedding day for me is like an opportunity to eat terrible food for myself. Because I don't know, like it feels like a party for me too. It's like, yeah, I did it. I shot the wedding. Yeah, party with the cookie. Leave the cookie for when I get back to the car.
Oh.
And it on the way home. Hell yeah. Sometimes it's not all the way because it's like, you know, sitting in the sun.
Yeah.
But it's like my little, like, I know at the end of the day, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's like
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I just nailed that wedding. Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
like, that's why I meditate when I get there because it could feel very stressful to be like, okay, is all my camera equipment going to work? Am I going to be in focus when the bride and the groom come down? Even though like
Mhm.
my rational brain's like, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like you got this. Like you're just hyped up.
Yeah.
My emotional side's over here just like,
Yes.
yeah. So
I just worry. I think I get the most stressed in like July weddings, specifically in Idaho, because yeah, like what if your gear malfunctions? Like I did a
happened to me
wedding.
last weekend.
Really?
Oh yeah, my 70 to 200. I think it was heating up during the ceremony, and I didn't notice it. When I looked at the pictures afterwards, they looked like the edges of my lens had been like rubbed. All of the bokeh was weird, and the focus was off. And I was like, "What the hell is going on?" But at one point in time, I just stopped taking pictures, and I was like, "Oh, you're overheated.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I needed right now on the top of this mountain. Perfect."
Oh, luckily I was only the
Oh.
second shooter when mine started giving me a warning. It's like, hey, your camera's getting too hot. And it was okay, so
Terrifying.
it was middle of July. It was no shade and direct sunlight. And
So you need those little like umbrellas for the
for
camera.
the camera. Yeah.
I love
No,
those.
I was like panicking because I got that warning. And so I like look at the main shooter and I was just like,
Keep it together.
yeah, I was
Keep it
like,
together.
I mean, she's getting content, so like we're good. Like, and like I'd gotten like it was a long ceremony, so I'd gotten
You've gotten what you needed.
plenty of what I needed. But like you feel like people are watching you, like you feel like
I
you
mean,
need-
that's reception time for me.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like the culling that you do from the take pictures you take. And my favorite is like when people are watching you and you're trying to like make them believe you're doing something else. So you'll have your like this way and you're like, you know, taking pictures. I know some people who won't like do that, but I have to. Like I cannot not. And then I'll be like, oh fine, sweet. You're not looking at me anymore. Perfect. Now I can get a picture of you real quick. So many duds.
Yeah, no. Well, it's just so anyways, the photographer ended up coming over and I was like, is your camera overheating too? She's like, absolutely it is. I was like, thank God.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. And that's why I won't do weddings in July. I was like, I'll never do an event in July. And then I did an event for that in like last week of July. So I'm so sorry.
Well, that wasn't as bad though, because
It
we
wasn't.
weren't outside for as long.
Yeah.
I did learn though from this other photographer, she had a good piece of advice. She's like, yeah, anytime that starts to happen, I just exchange batteries. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea.
That is smart.
I was like, yeah, because it's the battery that's really overheating, not necessarily the rest of it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep that in my back pocket. Just like when you go shoot in the cold, you need to bring extra batteries because they lose their charge faster. And I was like, well, I knew that, but I didn't know about extremes at either end, I see.
Yes. Yeah. It's inconvenient, I tell you.
Inconvenient. But I agree with you. July weddings, people who do them,
I don't think they realize. I think they get caught up in the like fun, like summery wedding, but in Idaho.
in the mountains should you be out in July.
Yeah, but
and people that do the outdoor ceremonies during that without shade, I'm always like,
do you hate everybody?
Well, you know, from a photographer standpoint, listen, I really appreciate if they give you parasols. I love the officiants that'll be like, for the beginning of the ceremony, we're going to have our parasols down so that the photographer can get one nice photo, and then I'll
Mm.
let you know when you can. I'm like, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Like, because no one wants to see, they want to see you, not your
Mhm.
parasol in the picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm also like, shade, team shade. I get it. If I'm attending a wedding, I get there early so I can scope out
Where the
where the
shade.
shade's going to be for the ceremony.
That's smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's smart.
Oh, yeah. I roast. Otherwise, I turn into a lobster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does your dream wedding look like as a vendor?
Ooh, this is a really great question. I was
Thank you.
just doing vision planning for 2020. What am
Good.
I going to create marketing content wise? And currently, my dream wedding is anywhere in the mountains. You take me to McCall, take me to Tamarack, take me to Sun Valley, take me to Stanley, any of that. Particularly with the mountains in the backdrop, because
Yeah.
like, isn't that why we came?
Yeah.
Was to get some sweet mountains, right? I would really love to book a couple that wants to do like a day after session. That would be fun. Particularly someone who'd be interested in like hiking up a mountain before sunrise so that we can get
Yes.
that cool alpenglow. Because Idaho's got some pretty sweet sunrises for people who have never braved the 5:20 summer AM piece of that. And sunset's great too, but you know, in the mountains, you can get bad weather in the afternoon. So that's my dream.
Yeah.
Doing something like that. Yeah. Doesn't have to have like big budget or anything like that, but like mountains, it'd be sweet if it had like a campfire at the end. I like sparklers. I think that all of those things feel very like magical. They also feel very like Idaho. I grew up going to a ranch every summer and then I started working there. So anytime I get to be like, oh, I can hear the bubbling brook, or as much as I hate mosquitoes, oh, the mosquitoes are here. Excellent. I can survive. I just think that's just fun.
Yeah. It makes the whole thing.
It does. It does.
Even though I hate them.
Yeah.
But it's a part of it.
And I think fun, like the other fun thing that people don't take advantage of enough here in Idaho, in my humble opinion, is May to November is the best time to see the Milky Way. Well, you know who's got the most night sky preserves in the entire world? Idaho. So like if you've never had the opportunity to actually see the Milky Way when it is like full out, you're missing out.
Yeah.
You're missing out. It's
Well,
so
'cause
pretty.
Is the closest one Bruno?
Yep. Bruno is
And
the
that's
closest one. And then
not even that
Stanley
far.
and Sun Valley are
Oh,
all.
yeah.
And then like, you know, just go up into the Frank Church Wilderness or up into the Sawtooth and you're just going to get just some truly spectacular views. The last wedding I did up in Stanley, I actually got up at 2 a.m., 2:30 in the morning so that I could go out and take pictures of the Milky Way when it was above the mountains. And it was like, I mean, I used to see it every summer, multiple times,
Yeah.
you know, and it was just like so magical to just be like back underneath that band of stars, because you can't see it here in Boise. You might be able to from Table Rock, but maybe not now with all the light pollution. I mean, you have to hike up to Table Rock to see anything, period. But
You can drive up.
not anymore.
Really?
No, they have a gate now that closes at sunset. You have to
Tells you how long
you
it's
actually have
been.
to hike the whole thing now. Yeah, there's no parking lot up there anymore.
Oh, that tells you how long it's been. I think the last time I drove up it, because I got so sick of Table Rock that it's just like, but last time I drove up it was like 2016.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did like a whole project in 2019, 2020.
Oh.
Got rid of all of it because people were going up there with their Jeeps and driving up there and kind of destroying. And then someone set those fireworks off that burned, you know, that whole section of the valley. So yeah, now, by the way, if anyone's interested in a adventure session, I love Table Rock and I would love to climb up there with you all, because no one can get pictures up there anymore because you have to like get yourself up there.
It's a nice hike. I just absolutely hate that last little bit. It's so terrible. Plus, I think I did it like so frequently that I was just like, yeah, I'm over it. But also, there's no shade, which like all of the hikes around here, which is fine.
Yeah.
But
Is that not the truth?
yeah, like, I don't know. I think
If you want shade, don't come to Idaho.
yeah, literally. Or go to the mountains.
Yeah, or go to the mountains, 100%.
Yeah. There's so many good hikes in the mountains, though.
Yeah. And Bogey's Basin, you know, it's like the closest that we got to that. But
Yeah.
I would love to do sunrise up at Table Rock because you get the sweet sun up over the hills right there and you get the whole top of it just turns all pink and it's so beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
I actually did, for my birthday, I always try to do a hike. And we did a sunrise hike one time at Table Rock. So, like,
So pretty.
I do like Table Rock. It's not like I'm a hater.
It takes effort. It's one of those things now where it's just like, oh, I can't easily get there. Dang it.
Yeah. But get your body moving. It feels good. If you could give every couple one piece of advice before their big day, what would it be? And it could be wedding related, just life related,
I think it's like the recent piece of advice that's like resonated with me is keep your standards high and your expectations low. So, set high standards for how you show up, how you want to feel, what you expect from your vendors, have really good communication with them, what you want your guest experience to be like, and then just have low expectations about how that exactly unfolds. Stuff happens on your wedding day.
Yeah.
And you got to roll with that punch. And wouldn't you rather just like have fun knowing that you brought your best mindset to the day versus like not and feeling, I think after that you end up with a lot of regrets. And instead, like you can just experience the day and live the day and just be like, yep, that happened. Like at my wedding, the cake table and the welcome table got flipped. So as people came in, they saw the cake table and I was like, well, that's weird. And as I walked out, I was like, whatever, that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
The little toppers I got for my cake, they put in wrong. And I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Like, what was the other thing? Oh, my bridesmaids were late. But I was like, this happens, whatevs, And
You made it.
yeah, it was kind of how I felt. I was like, it's like, you could get all hooked up on all of that and on the schedule and doing all the things, or you could accept the fact that like you can't control most of the stuff that happens on your wedding day, but you can control how you show up to it and you can even like, you can visualize how you're going to respond to it. And you could just be like, you could have your friend come over and just be like, hey, let's pretend that all the things that you're imagining that could go wrong do go wrong. Like, what are you going to do in that?
Yeah.
Like, it's raining, right? Like, you have to find that for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what I think brings you the most joy on. Again, you set your high standards. Comparison is the death of joy. The more you compare what could have been to what is, the sadder you're going to be about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice.
Yeah, it was like, I got it like a week and a half ago and it's just been like in my mind of like, yeah, I mean, that is like, but it's the same concept of like, give more, expect less. Like, sometimes we live in a reciprocal world. And so we always expect that's going to happen, but you're really happier when you keep that expectation really low. Yeah. And then when it does happen, you're like, oh my God, it's just like our clients. I'm going to under promise and over deliver for you. And most often than not, that makes people like thrilled. And like remind yourself about what your happiness really looks like and what your goal is.
Yeah. And that's not the point of the day. Like, yes, you're putting on this big event and yes, there's a lot of expectations around that, but the end goal is, did you get married?
Yeah. And like, did you have fun?
Yeah. That's all.
And the rest of it, you can just be like, yeah, that happened. Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, like in 50 years, like that's not what you're going to think about and that's not what you're going to remember. Oh, it's like all the things that went wrong on my wedding. No, like we got married and we've been married for 50 years. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah, I love that. One of the techniques I like to use to give me perspective when I'm really feeling like, oh my God, what should I do? How should I feel? Is how are you going to feel about it in 10 minutes? Mm-hmm. How are you going to feel about it in 10 months? And then how are you going to feel about that decision in 10 years? And it kind of lets you just like detach from like, oh yeah, well, 10 years from now, I'm probably going to tell a really great story about how my cake toppers were wrong as people are looking through my album and, the stuff that you're just like, does it matter?
Yeah.
Even if our wedding had gotten rained out, I think back about that. I'm like, would I have cared? Yeah. Maybe a little bit in the moment. I might have been a little sad, but like everybody was still there. We still had a ton of fun. Like it just would have been different than maybe what I was planning. And sometimes the best stuff that comes to your life are the things that you didn't plan.
Most often.
Most often.
Well, good. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. Is there anything that you want to leave them with? Anything upcoming exciting?
Ooh, upcoming exciting. Well, I'm really excited. I'm about to do a project at Deer Flat Ranch.
Ooh, that is exciting.
It's have you ever seen Out of Africa? No, it's like my mom loved this movie when I was growing up. And so I want to blend the cinematic storytelling in that with, I love Taylor Swift's Wildest Dreams music video. I think that's like, when you look back on that, it's like, feels so bridal. She's got like the tulle everywhere and the big wide shots. And I'm like, yeah, let's make something like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting excited about.
That's exciting. Good. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. And break.
Yeah.